Hello everyone and welcome to another video here on the Cycling Dane Action channel. And today with the Tour de France in 2024, the Grand Depart is in Italy of all places. And on stage 2, the riders will be tackling one of the most iconic climbs in terms of the Emilia-Romagna region. That is the San Luca, which is a beautiful sanctuary. And the riders will tackle this savage climb. And the last time it was used in a Grand Tour was in 2019 in the Giro d'Italia, where Primož Roglič won the time trial. But in terms of Strava, the KOM right now is held by Simon Yates and Mike Woods. Simon Yates sharing it after finishing third place in last year's Giro d'Emilia, where he finished behind both Primož Roglič and Tadej Pogačar. So maybe this is a good indicator of what the pros will do this year. Nevertheless, I thought it was a good idea to test this climb, but not on my traditional 6-kilogram climbing bike, but rather almost double the weight, a city rental bike that it was probably worth $50 if you were to sell it. But this climb is 1.8 kilometers long and averages 10.8%, and it has a bit of a step profile, with the first part being quite steep, then being a bit shallower, and then kicking up in the middle before being quite shallow at the top. And here we are, me on the city bike, and there you can see the climb in front of me. What could I do on the climb? And as soon as I ventured onto the climb, the gradient hit me. I couldn't believe how tough this actually was going to be. The gearing was terrible on this bike and was not meant for climbing this climb. The city rental bike guy also thought it was a bit silly that I was going to do this and didn't believe I was going to do it. But I quickly set my sights on the climb, on an Italian gentleman in front of me on a bike probably worth 6,000 euros, judging by what I could see. And he quickly became my target, but I could feel the pain. The legs were burning. This bike is certainly not designed for climbing this climb. And there you have it. I just got the back end of his wheel almost, but zigzagging across the road, looking out for cars coming the other way. And you could see even the Italian gentleman was struggling as well on his bike. But I was doing my best just to squeeze any ounce of effort I had, energy. I knew what was coming up as well. There was a steeper section as well, but I was next to my new Italian friend and he was as well just struggling. We were soon passed by a guy flying up the climb on a better day than both me and him. But I was doing my best, just trying to hold the bike in some sort of momentum. It was looking more and more like the Italian gentleman was getting the better of me and distancing me, but I was trying to see if I could just keep the bike or save some energy, if you will, before that really tough section coming in the middle. Doing my best, pushing on. We were both just pedaling squares. I even tried to sit in the saddle, not being out the saddle, and it seemed to work a bit better. And what could I do here to save any energy, draining my whole body of anything? But yeah, this bike definitely not what you want to be climbing this climb on. I was just trying to stay on his wheel, but he was just drifting a bit away from me. I was conscious though that there was that big section coming up, so I wanted to alleviate a bit of the pace just to save some energy and give it a real big push in that second part of the climb, that middle section, the real hard grind. But you can see he was distancing me completely here. I didn't have anything to answer, but I was taking it a bit steadier. So
I know what's coming. It's gonna be grim.
And then we come under this very beautiful pass, and you can see the Italian gentleman right there. He was struggling in the lowest gear possible, and then me coming up behind, wearing that pink jersey and on that blue bike, just forcing everything I could out of my legs. This was power, 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 anything I had left. And if I couldn't pedal, then the bike would completely stop in its moment, just absolutely throwing everything at this. And there you had it, the moment where I just managed to pass him. I don't think he had much left, but I put everything into this. This was why I saved everything. But the pain here was burning through my legs. It was like acid was being poured through my veins, and everything was just hurting. And you can see I'm even trying to zigzag across the road as the gradient kicks up to 20% in some parts, trying to get everything out of my legs. The power just disappearing as quickly as I could get it. and I was really battling to get to the top. This was the hardest challenge, hardest climb I'd ever done in terms of the bike I was using as well, doing my best, pushing on, and I was almost at the top, just absolutely hurting. Everything was burning. It was just a sheer willpower getting me up. I knew if I stopped then I would fall off the bike. The speed was ridiculously slow as well. You could have probably walked it quicker than I was doing here, but zigzagging across the road, doing everything in my power to just keep the bike moving. It almost came to a stop, but everything I had, every single ounce of energy was being poured into this. What could I do? But it almost came to a stop, the bike. I was just trying to wiggle it around on the climb, doing anything I could to keep the momentum going, but this was absolutely diabolical. You could see that I was being pushed over to the side as well, but eventually I got the hang of it, and then you can see it just near the top here, and that was it. That was where the climbs stopped fighting and you got more of a shallower section, and this was it. This was the point where everything transitioned, and yeah, an absolutely incredible experience in a painful way to do, but now I could take it a bit easier.
Oh, fucking hell.
But the sun's shining out, the San Luca sanctuary up there, as you can see, and yeah, that was basically all I could get out of this. This was painful in every single way possible, just enjoying the beautiful shallow gradient here, just taking it a bit easier. Nothing to lose now. All the energy was zapped out of my legs anyway, so I couldn't do anything other than just crawl along the climb now. There was absolutely no energy left in the legs. This was lactic acid 2000% in the legs. Everything had just been turned into power, and yeah, it was very slow here as well. And then getting ever closer to that finish line where the Strava section finished, but nowhere near the winning time of Simon Yates and the others alike. This was painful to say the least. My time was about 3 times as long as Simon Yates, and yeah, a bit more actually, not 3 times, but a bit more. But yeah, no KOMs on this occasion on this bike, but what a bike, what an experience, and let's not do that ever again. But anyways, that's basically it for this video. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel here on the Action channel, and why not check out the time when I tried to follow Primož Roglič on a climb, or when I tried to break the London Marathon record on a bike, of course.